Today I'm going to be showing you how to travel Montreal, Canada, as well as giving you the best things to do so you get the most out of your time here. But let me tell you, this is not going to be your average travel guide. Every single one of these suggestions comes from over 22 years of living in Montreal. I know the ins and outs of this city, but I don't know everything. So I've pulled over 1,500 other Montrealers and asked them for their best suggestions on things to do here, and I've included some of the best ones in this video. I'll be showing you all of the best things to do while you're in Montreal, from parks, hidden gems, outdoor activities, the best food spots, and so much more. I'm Will, the channel is Sprout, and without further ado, let's go explore Montreal. If you come to Montreal, the first and last thing that you have to do is experience how culturally rich this city is. Montreal is one of the oldest cities in North America and also the most European. So while you're in Montreal, you'll feel like you're traveling across many different countries across the ocean. Let me give you some of the best things to do while you're in Montreal to experience this insane culture. Okay, so a really good place to start in terms of learning Montreal's culture is to eat poutine. Poutine is a famous Quebec food. It's fries, gravy, cheese curds. It's the best thing on the planet. And it's so important to this culture that when I was writing down the script in my notes, I actually capitalized the P on poutine every time I've written it. So now if you look up where to go for the best poutine in Montreal, probably every single guide is gonna tell you to go to La Banquise, but don't do that. It's too mainstream, it's not the best poutine. And the general rule for eating poutine here in Quebec is the greasier it can be, the better it will taste. So instead of La Banquise, go to a few of my favorite. Ma Poule Mouillée is really good. De Carry hot dog, even better. And the best one, the orange julep. So Montreal was founded in 1642, and even though that seems like it was a long time ago, there is actually one part of the city where a ton of buildings built during that time still stand. And that is called the Old Port. So a really good place to start your Old Port walkthrough would be to walk down St. Paul Street. So St. Paul Street is the oldest street in Montreal. It is very famous because it's named after the man who founded the city, Paul de Maisonneuve. And one of the coolest things about walking down St. Paul is that it has cobblestone streets. Not many streets still have this, obviously, because we don't use cobblestone streets anymore in major cities. A couple of quick hitters, I would say, go to Place Jacques-Cartier, Marché Bon Secours, walk down De la Commune Street, and of course marvel in the beauty of the Notre Dame Basilica. The next one is the McGill campus. Now I might be a little bit biased because that's my alma mater. McGill was established in 1821, and there are some amazing things that you can do around the campus, like walk down McTavish Street, stroll through the campus greens, go into the Red Path Museum, head over to the Percival Molson Stadium, which is where the Montreal Alouettes play, our CFL football team, and then you can go and explore the McGill Ghetto, which is one of the most quaint neighborhoods in this city. When people ask me what Montreal is like, one thing I like to say is that it's like going to Europe, but for a lot cheaper. And so what do Europeans do every morning? Well, they wake up and they have their coffee and they have their pastries. Now, I'm no big coffee guy, but it's not hard to find people who do love coffee, and the most recommended places in Montreal for it are Crew Collective Cafe, Café Olympico in the Mile End or in the Old Port, and Café Les Méchants Pinson in the Mile End. And of course, like I said, you're in Europe, so you can't have a coffee without having a pastry, and the one place I recommend for pastries is Mamie Clafoutis. Get the pistachio croissant, I guarantee you won't regret it. Alright, and last but not least, go watch a Habs game at the Bell Center. Whether you like hockey or not, the sport was invented in Montreal. This is the mecca of hockey, and the Habs are the NHL's most historic team in the league. So if you're here when they're playing, then go and make sure you hit up the Bell Center, have a few beers, buy a jersey, and enjoy the electric atmosphere that is the Bell Center. Okay, so we just spoke about the culture. Well, the next topic is food, and food is absolutely culture in Montreal. This city has the second most restaurants per capita in all of North America, trailing behind, well, you guessed it, New York City. And so I'm going to preface before I give you any food suggestions that there are like millions of places you can go to in Montreal and have a great meal, but I'm gonna give you some of my favorite from my time living here, and I definitely think your trip will be incomplete if you don't go to all of these. Okay, so historically speaking, there have been a lot of wars involving the city of Montreal, but no war has been more important than the current bagel war that goes on between St. Viateur and Fairmount Bagel. Montreal bagels are worldwide famous, and so when you come here, you have to go to both St. Viateur and Fairmount and decide what team you're on. I'm personally Saint Viateur. I never have Fairmount, but both of them are really good in their own ways. And the best part is that each bagel only costs about $1. Next up is L'Express. So Montreal is a city that opens until very late, and L'Express is a very well-known French bistro that opens until 3 a.m. pretty much every night without COVID. It's one of my favorite restaurants in the city. It makes you feel like you're in Paris.
We are now having real, authentic French baguettes. French.
And if you have the steak frites or the ravioli while you're there, you'll probably have a foodgasm. And the service is good, so they'll clean it up, don't worry. If you're looking to try Québécois cuisine and you want to have it at a very nice restaurant, Au Pied de Cochon is a great bet. It's run by one of the most legendary chefs in the world, Martin Picard, who's from Quebec, and it's known for its foie gras. Quebec cuisine is very gamey, a lot of beer, very heavy. You'll probably have to open your pants after the main meal, but it's worth it because this is what Quebec cuisine is like, and this is the most authentic restaurant that you can go if you want to try it. This one is pretty open-ended, but walk down Notre Dame Street near the Atwater Market if you want literally dozens of amazing restaurants to try from. My two favorites on this street are Tacos Victor. They serve amazing tacos that are loaded with protein just for $6 a piece, and Foie Gras, which is again a very hearty place. But if you walk anywhere down Notre Dame Street, you'll find tons of amazing restaurants to eat at. And then my final suggestion is to go for brunch at Beauty's. Now, Beauty's is a super simple restaurant, but it's been here forever. French toast, pancakes, eggs, Saint Viateur bagels. It's amazing, great place for brunch. Our next section is outdoor activities. So for 8 months out of the year, Montreal is definitely not what I would call optimal to be outside in. It's snowy, it's cold, the winters are long and harsh, but in those 4 other months, the weather is absolutely stunning, and being outside here is an awesome treat. So in terms of outdoor activities, a great first start would be going to both the Atwater and Jean Talon markets. So one of the best things to do if you show up to either Jean Talon or Atwater Market is to grab a bunch of different foods from the market, take them away, and go make an awesome meal on a beautiful day in Montreal. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna take all of the steaks, the cheeses, the meats, and the breads that we bought here, and we're gonna go make a big charcuterie board and enjoy ourselves on another gorgeous day in this city. So relative to a lot of other major cities, I've noticed that Montreal doesn't have that many great viewpoints, but of the few that it does have, there are some pretty awesome ones. So if you're looking for an amazing viewpoint of the city of Montreal, head over to the Old Port and go on La Grande Roue. So La Grande Roue is actually French for the big wheel, and it's essentially a huge Ferris wheel that gives you a panoramic view of the city. I've been on it like 4 or 5 times, and I definitely recommend it. What's up? We're at the top of the city! Woo! Another amazing outdoor activity to do while in Montreal is go and hit up an outdoor terrace. So I would definitely recommend Terrasse Bon Secours, Terrasse William Gray, and Terrasse Nelligan. 3 rooftop bars all in the Old Port. Amazing views and amazing vibes. Finally, I will say you can't come to Montreal and not go to an outdoor party. We have Tam Tams, which is a Sunday party. There's Pique-Nique Électronique, which is in Parc Jean Drapeau. I've personally never been to one, but I only hear amazing things about it. And then finally, at the end of the summer, obviously not with COVID, but in normal times, there's Osheaga and Ile Sonic, 2 major music festivals with tons of artists from around the world who go and perform. And those 2 specific festivals are incredible, probably the best outdoor music festival in all of Canada. Okay, so you're coming to Montreal, and I get that you want to see all of the most popular tourist attractions, but at the same time, you also should see a couple of places in the city that only locals know about. Yes, I'm talking about some hidden gems. So as I spend more and more time traveling around Montreal filming videos, I've stumbled across several outdoor gyms that are called TrekFit gyms. They have pull-up bars, dip bars, benches, layers of turf, and everything that you need for a bodyweight workout. Sharon and I just worked out here at the TrekFit gym right next to Griffintown in Montreal. We burned 400 calories, 30 minutes, no weights, just using everything that they have here. Telling you guys, hidden gem, it is so awesome. There are a ton of these around the city, so go check them out online and go get a nice workout in. Okay, the second hidden gem is Clock Tower Beach. So Montreal is not really well known for its beaches at all, but it doesn't mean that we don't have any. So actually in the old port of Montreal, right in the heart of the city, is a beach called the Clock Tower Beach, and it's totally man-made. It's right next to the Yacht Club in Montreal, but they have a bar, they have drinks, they have sand. So if you're looking to see a man-made beach surrounded by 400-year-old buildings, then go check out Clock Tower Beach. So as you may or may not know, Montreal is world famous for its nightlife scene, and my absolute favorite bar in the city is Cloakroom Bar, but not many people actually know about it because it is a secret bar. So during the day, it's a tailor for men's suits, but at night, it opens up into a 25-person chic bar right in downtown Montreal. But listen, don't take my word for it. Sharon, Cloakroom Bar, what are your thoughts?
Coolest bar I've ever been to, hands down.
And then last but not least, the Mile End. I mean, this isn't really a hidden gem because it's one of the very well-known areas of the city, but not many people will come here because it's so far away from all of the main tourist attractions. But at the same time, it really does paint a good picture of what the city of Montreal is like.
You have to frolic around the Mile End. You don't just walk, frolic.
Montreal is definitely known for its history, its culture, and its food. You can't dismiss its parks. Let me introduce you to 3 in specific. Number 1 is Mount Royal Park, which conveniently is where I am located right now. One really cool fact about this park is it was actually designed by the same man who designed Central Park, Frederick Law Olmsted. And if any of you know the fame that Central Park has in the world, then you know that this park must be a sight to see. If you're going to visit Mount Royal Park, I highly recommend the first thing you do is go visit the lookout spot, then you walk around the top, come back down where I am to Beaver Lake, and just relax and enjoy a good amount of your day here. Okay, so the second park that I recommend you visit in Montreal is Parc Jean Drapeau. So if you're going to visit this park, you should absolutely bike there because there are only 2 ways that you can get to this park via bike, and both of them involve you biking down one of the bridges in Montreal that overlooks a beautiful skyline view of the city. Okay, last but not least, the third park I recommend you've definitely never heard of. Honestly, most Montrealers haven't heard of it, and it is Frederick Back Park. So this park is located in the Saint-Michel area of the city, and the park is really interesting because it used to be an industrial dump site, but they converted it into a beautiful park, and it's one of the primary examples of how Montreal is developing into a more sustainable city. Also, definitely one thing worth mentioning. How to get around Montreal? Well, the metro and the bus system are super good. But on top of all of that, if you're coming in the summer, definitely take the Bixi bikes. Oh yeah, also super pro tip if you plan on biking or getting around the city. Yeah, potholes in Montreal is a pretty big thing. The streets are absolutely terrible here. So watch out for that and watch out for some pretty crazy drivers, right?
Wear a helmet.
Just like us. So I'm a firm believer that when you go and visit a major city, you're missing out if you don't go and see its surrounding areas as well. Number 1 is Mont Saint-Hilaire. So Mont Saint-Hilaire is actually the most convenient hike away from Montreal. It's a super easy hike, and it's even more rewarding because at the top, you get to see a different view of the entire city of Montreal relative to its surrounding area. So if any of you guys have ever been to Whistler, then you definitely are gonna wanna make a trip to Mont Tremblant. So Mont Tremblant would be Quebec's premier ski resort. There are a ton of things to do, especially in the summer. So go there if you enjoy ski resorts and if you want a nice little vacation away from the city. And then my final day trip suggestion would be to go to Ottawa. Ottawa is the capital of Canada, so if you like Canadian history and you want to see important parts of this country, then go to the capital. And so that would pretty much sum up how to absolutely send it while you're here in Montreal. Enjoy spending time in the only French-speaking major city in all of North America. It is one of the most unique places, and having grown up here, I've sometimes taken it for granted, but after making this video, I realized just how unique Montreal is. So with that, I'm Will. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more Montreal videos, I've got a ton posted on my channel. Consider subscribing to my channel, Sprout. And as always, it's a mindset. Enjoy Montreal, and I'll see you next time.